What's up, fellow football fans? Bruno here with the Football Channel, and I want to start today by giving you a piece of some bad news. It was already kind of expected, but Cristiano Ronaldo will not be able to face Barcelona today. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see what we all wanted to see today. We wanted to see that duel between Cristiano Ronaldo, Juventus forward, against Lionel Messi. These are the two great players of the last 10 years, the two players that have dominated the headlines, the two greatest talents of their generation. Unfortunately, we're not going to see them play against each other today because Juventus, for Cristiano Ronaldo, he did not test. Yesterday, it was revealed that he was not able to test positive, or he was not able to test negative for the coronavirus, so he tested positive again. And according to UEFA protocol, a player needs to test negative 24 hours before kickoff in order to be declared available for the game. So everybody was expecting Cristiano Ronaldo to maybe test negative and play against Barcelona today. That was the expectation, but it did not happen. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to feature against Barcelona. It's very likely that he'll be able to feature against Juventus' next opponents in the Serie A this next weekend, but he will not be available against Barcelona. It's still gonna. So that's the main piece of news. But I also want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about what we can look forward to today, because there are lots of great matches today that we can look forward to in the Champions League, including, of course, Juventus Barcelona, which is still a fantastic match. It's still a fantastic match, even though we're not going to get to see what we wanted to see, that duel between Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. So that takes away a little bit from that game. But it's a duel between two European great teams. Juventus, both won their first game. Juventus won their first game against Dynamo Kiev away with a brace by Morata. Barcelona destroyed Ferencváros, as they were expected to do at home. 5-1, just a festival of goals for Barcelona there. But this is really the big match in this group, in particular, Group G, with Barcelona, Juventus, Dynamo Kiev, and Ferencváros. The clashes, everybody's expecting, including myself, to see Barcelona and Juventus go through to the knockout stages, and both teams will be a threat to anyone later on in the knockout stages, in the latest stages of the Champions League. I mean, these are two teams that will be competing to win it. So Dynamo Kiev and Ferencváros will probably dispute the third place, whereas Juventus and Barcelona will really try to finish top of the group, so they'll have a better, more favorable matchup in the round of last 16. So that's still going to be a great game. And, Juventus has a number of attacking players. I'm guessing in attack we're going to see Paulo Dybala, Federico Chiesa, and Kulusevski, probably. I mean, I think that's likely to be the attacking trio. Bernardeschi might get in there as well. So still a lot of talent for Juventus up front. No Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, they're going to miss him, but they still have a lot of quality up front, and also in midfield and defense, very solid defense, good midfield. So Juventus is a very strong team. Obviously, Morata is likely to start as well. So still a very good team. In Barcelona, obviously, they just lost the Clásico, so they're going to be a little bit touched from that. Their morale is probably going to be affected somewhat. But on the other hand, they'll really have that extra incentive to go into this game and really prove that they're still a relevant team, they're still a great team, and they'll try to reverse their fortunes after that bad display against Real Madrid in El Clasico. And then there are some other good matches today. Juventus Barcelona, obviously the highlight, but also in Group H, the group of death with Leipzig, Manchester United, PSG, Istanbul. The first match day was interesting because Leipzig beat Istanbul as expected, but Manchester United was able to go to Paris and get a win against PSG, the runners-up of last year's Champions League, and that was I would submit to you that that was a little bit unexpected, especially because Manchester United has had some trouble in the beginning of the season in the Premier League, so everybody was a little bit concerned, at least on Manchester United's camp. I think Manchester United fans were probably not overly optimistic about that match, but they went to Paris and they won in Paris again, as they had done in the past. So that puts them in a very good position to face this week's game, which is also going to be a difficult game. It's going to be against Leipzig, but they play at home, and also they have those 3 points. Leipzig will also have already 3 points in their account, so to speak, because they did beat Istanbul as expected in the first game. And really, Manchester United, Leipzig, seeing that PSG is also in that group, big shark in that group. Manchester United and Leipzig will be looking at this game and thinking, well, we really need to get a result here because PSG is a major threat and they're likely to win the other game in the match against Istanbul. So Manchester United, Juventus Barcelona, I still think that's the best game, but Manchester United, Leipzig is probably we're probably looking at the more consequential game in that group, so to speak. And then, even in the other groups, we have a couple of interesting matches. In Group E, and in that group, we have Krasnodar, Rennes, Sevilla, and Chelsea. Sevilla and Chelsea drew a goalless game in the first game in London. And so that puts them in a not so great position going into this game, but not bad either. And they're expected to go through the knockout stages. And Krasnodar Rennes also drew, so they're expecting, I'm sure, especially Hen, expecting to get that maybe threaten to get into the top two positions and surprise Sevilla or Chelsea and get to the knockout stages, or at least just finish third. So Sevilla and Hen in particular is a pretty good game, I would say. It's not as good as the Sevilla Chelsea game that we had in the first match day, but still interesting game, Sevilla Hen. And then in Group F, Lazio, Bruges, Zenit, and Borussia Dortmund. The best game, I would say, in that group, Dortmund versus Zenit, which is an interesting game because both Dortmund and Zenit I'm sure they're harboring some hope of getting through to the knockout stage, especially Dortmund. They're the big favorites in the group. However, they did lose their first match against Lazio, so they're playing Zenit now, which is a dangerous team, but they're playing at home. And after that first game defeat against Lazio, I'm sure they know this is a major opportunity for them to get back on track. And if they were to lose points or even lose against Zenit, I mean, that would be very concerning for Dortmund to start their Champions League campaign with two defeats or even a defeat and a draw in the first two games. That would be very dangerous for them. So I'm sure Dortmund is really looking to this game as a pretty decisive game against Zenit at home. They need to get that result. And Lazio, on the other hand, they're going to travel to Belgium to play Bruges, and they won somewhat surprisingly, I'm sure for most people, against Dortmund in the first game. That was a huge win for them in this group. That is going to be a very tight group. Looking at the group going into it with Dortmund, Zenit, Bruges. I mean, this was always going to be tough for Lazio. Possible, sure, but kind of tough. But that first game win against Dortmund, that was a great result for them. And if they beat Bruges 6 points in the first two games, they'll be in a fantastic position to go through. So that's really it. That's my preview for today's games. Some really interesting games. Still the biggest game, Juventus Barcelona, losing a little bit of interest because Cristiano Ronaldo unfortunately will not be able to make it to this game. Thanks for watching.